I'm Smallz, the CEO of the highly esteemed label Life Entertainment, and I have a group called the Carreeer, and I have my son Jody. They sing, act, dance as well. I'm distributed by Something Distribution, Sony Records. I've been in the business my whole life. I'm originally from Ohio, Canton, Ohio, but I moved out here when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I've been doing music. My mom and dad moved out here to pursue their music career. I was a little kid, and then unfortunately my mother got murdered at 11 when I was 11 years old. When I was little, my mother and father, they were in a group together called Kanya, so they flew out here to become musicians, but then the group, they broke up. I stayed with my mother, and my father moved to Oakland. A year later, someone, she had a boyfriend that was just very jealous of her, came into our house while we were sleeping, locked us in our rooms, and stabbed my mother like 25 times in the face and cut off her fingers, all in her chest. Me and my 3 brothers, I had a brother that was 9, 7, and then one that was 11 months. We woke up and we just seen blood and like fingers all over the place and like blood on the walls. I didn't know what it was, and my mom wasn't there, so me and my brother sat around, and we went into the bedroom, and it was big. I didn't know that blood congealed, and it looked like jelly. I'm only 11 years old, and so I touched it and put it in my mouth, and I'm like, that's blood. You guys, we gotta get out of here. So I ran across the street to the neighbors and called the police. It was just my 2 brothers. Now I had 11-month-year-old that was underneath the bed that we didn't know, and so when the police came, they came into the house, went in the house. It was ramshacked, blood everywhere, and they looked under the bed, and my little brother was there covered in blood. My mother's body was missing for 2 weeks. This was Christmas. She got, this happened December 6th. And 2 days before Christmas, they said that they found my mother's body and wanted to, that we had to go identify. So we went up to Sacramento because they had drove her body 2 hours away from the Bay to Sacramento, and we found her in the trunk of a car. We didn't get to go to the funeral, unfortunately. Shipped her body back to California. For a lot of reasons. My mom's mom and my father had some differences, so we didn't get to go. So we had to go up there and see my mother because the psychiatrist said it was best for us to go there and see my mother dead than us wonder. This is what they said. I'm a child, I didn't know. And so they flew her body back there. We stayed here in Ohio, and we were just having some really hard times. Me and my father was taking care of us because he had the impression that he broke up with my mom. We were in East Oakland, and we were really struggling and like literally starving, like homeless. So my grandparents were like, get him back here, Papa. That's what he called my father. Get him back here, Papa. You guys can't make it out there. So when I moved, I was always dancing. I've been an entertainer, and I wanted to fulfill my mother's and father's dreams. So when I moved back to Cleveland, I met the group Gerald Levert and the OJs from Cleveland. I just happened to meet them, so I started dancing for them, and I was choreographing, and I started dancing for New Kids on the Block and Marky Mark, so we were background dancing for Mark. Then we secured a deal with Island Records in 1993. As little kids, me and my brothers, I was in a group called the Schoolboys. We eventually called ourselves Life, which I ended up keeping the label, turning it into my label. We ended up getting a deal in 1993, signing, and that didn't work out. And so I started my own record label, and in 1999 I signed, and I put out some albums, some singles and stuff. And then my father died. He died from kidney dialysis, and when he died, there was still a lot of tension with my mom's mom and my father. And so I'm moving out here to start my record label. So I had an album called Having My Way, and then my mother came up. I moved my children out here, and then my mother came to me in a dream and was like, you can do this. Everyone thinks that I'm scared of Sherelle, but Sherelle's scared of me, because that's what she said in the dream. And that's the guy, he's on trial. I mean, he's the one that's accused for it. And so I quit my album. It was called Having My Way. I stopped the album. I said, you know what, I'm going to name this album Who Killed My Mama. She said, if we try to do this, we can find out who killed her. Because I would shake at night, and I was having bad dreams, and I couldn't sleep. And so my baby's mother was like, we need to, get something. I said, well, I'm going to find out who did it. So I start calling the Richmond police, and I'm like, I want all the information. I want anything you can find out on my mother. And they were like, we can't just give you the information. I said, well, I'm going to do it myself. And so I just got with Cash Money and 50 Cents and Joel Santana and all my star friends and used Sound Power and said, could y'all please help me find out? And I did a DVD. And I actually drove my tour bus up to the place where my mother got killed and just knocked on the door. And like, my mother got killed here. And I want to know, could I come in here? And the dude said, I knew you were going to come. He starts crying. We held each other. I'm crying. And he said, I knew you were going to come back one day. He said, I remember you. You were the one. We're going to buy the house, because the people that killed my mom, they were calling us and threatening us and like screaming, I'm going to kill you. I'd answer the phone and my mom would be going crazy. And so my mom was trying to move. We were moving away, but she didn't move quick enough. And so anyway, I came to the door and he's like, I bought the house. I knew you were a little kid. I bought it two months after this all happened, because they went down low because no one would buy it. And he invited us in, and he walked us around the house. He said, that's the knife marks in the floor where your mom was. And she said that the back door, and he started shaking. He said, for 6 months your mom's blood was on the back door, and I just left it there. I didn't even want to believe that it was what it really was. And so we just went through a lot, and I was filming this on my DVD, so I packaged my album. I made a song called Life, featuring Lazy Bone and Busy Bone. Shout out to Lazy and Busy Bone. Started a record label together, and we did the song called Life about my mother, and it just really blew up over the internet. And I did the DVD and I packaged it, and I just asked the world, if you have any ideas, or if you could just pray for me anyway, call my number, email me. I'm trying to find out who killed my mother. And then 4 years after that, 3 years, we were asking, is there anything, 3 years? No, about 2 years, 3 years. And they called, like, we got a DNA hit. We got DNA, and there was witness, that came forward. He had cancer and he wanted to just clear his name. And so that's what he did, cleared his name, went to court, got convicted. What they did was have a secret indictment here that he never knew it was coming. And they flew my brother up north to the Bay, and they had a secret hearing. And then they secret indicted him, and then waited in front of his house and arrested him. And he's been out on bond for 1.5 years on $1,300,000 bond. So 5 years after my mother was murdered, he got into a car accident. It's all public record, so they and wrecked in a convertible. His family was throughout, his child and his mother. Nothing happened to them, not a scratch. He got paralyzed from neck down. He's a quadriplegic. He was awarded $6 million from GM, and he was hit by a drunk driver. Since I do suffer from post-traumatic stress, I use medical marijuana, eat edible infused foods with medical marijuana. I move around a lot, so it relaxes me. And I've had a couple accidents where I have neuropathy in my legs, and I was shot. So it helps with that and the whole PTSD thing. It just gets my mind where that's why I smoke a lot of indica. It just relaxes me and keeps me calm, keeps my thoughts positive and my vibe and energy good. I started Who Killed My Mama movement, and from that we found out. So now, moving on, I'm blessed. Since then I've put out my children, they're called The Carter. I have my new album, it's called High Off Life. The inspiration of this album is to let people know that there's a light at the tunnel. That, I put out the Who Killed My Mama, and we were going for it. It's something that had never been done. I was using it to create a result. This one, the results created, we've got it. Now we're High Off Life, and it's a triple entendre. It's the name of the group. It's the name of my medical marijuana. And I'm high off life of the world and the Most High. Okay? So that's what this is. This is what this album is a celebration of life and love and spreading the word of love and peace. So their album is called Universal Service. Our goal with Life Entertainment is to spread love, peace, and joy and understanding to the world. And that's what we do. That's what we do. That's our mission. Like I said, our crusade. We're about love, positivity. We went through a lot, this family and this record label, and we're still here, blessed. Album will be coming out, High Off Life, labellife.com, thecarteronline.com, and just check us out, all that. Take Smallz, Facebook, Twitter, The Carter, Facebook, Twitter.